is Yerushalmi Peah Daf Lamed Aleph, and the article is Vada edition, and we're mamish at the top. We're going to start the Mishnah Lacha Vav, which in the Vilna edition is Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. No, Yud Zayin, no. Yud Tes Zayin Amud Beis. Rebbe Lezer Omer. Okay, Rebbe Lezer Omer. Karka base rova. If you have a karka the size of a base rova, which is 10 amos and 2 tvachim and two and a half tvachim on 10 amos, base of sign is 50 by 100, base is 50 by 50, so about a quarter of that. Chayiv Peah. She'll remember Osa base of sign. She says, well, maybe that's Chayiv, but he makes a base of sign, which is a lot more than which seemed to make because. The karka based rova normally makes a rova, a quarter of a kav, and we're looking for two sus place of time, which is 12 kav. So that's a very big difference. Right, shisha tvachim, 6 tvachim by 6 tvachim. Rabbi Yehuda ben Meser Kedei Liktor Lushanos, to harvest and to harvest again. The Pnei Moshe explains. Hold a fistful of the grain, the kotzer, and you harvest him yesh become the sos kach u'shanos to twice shushne pamim malei kapo chayav peah, which seems to be the smallest shear. My time it says more. My time was in my cancel chavin and my kilaim sorcha. It says this sorcha here so by kilaim. Maschal chishne mar alon base rova. Just like over there by the southern is a base rova. Evidently we're talking about the hefsek, the interruption between fields. Not like the Pnei Moshe. Pnei Moshe says it's not very the same. Kind of shesh bo rova mimin acher yemait, and this is talking about the 1/24th ratio of which makes kilaim. It doesn't seem to be the actual shot here. Again, like seems to be that a base rova is considered to be a chosh of a field, to be mafsik between two parts of the field, so they won't be considered to be making line with each other. So therefore, that's considered to be echel shivas here as well, in order that it should be chayav in peah. Just like mafsik there, it's a chayav peah here. So the carbon not going to be some from kilaim. Osa assume our parak base Mishnah Tes. Osa assume our karachas the base some karachas the base rova. So talk about mashiyot. So you make a karachas in a bald spot, and then you can plant from between the bald spots. The bald spots a shear of a rova. My time is sure was a logic. Nemakan source. Nemakan source. Nemahan b'shachachta omer basodeh. Masadeh shneimar la'alon sosayim. So by shikha, it's the shear is a base sosayim. Avkan sosayim. So to here it is sosayim. So it's referring to Meparak Vav Mishnah above, where it says Omer, which is the size of a sosayim, and you forgot it, it's not shikha, because no one considers it shikha. Right? It says Shalachta Omer v'lo godish. So sosayim is considered to be a godish. Godish is a pile, which means the crop of the field. So we see that a karka, ground which produces sosayim is producing godish. That's considered to be the shear of a field for most of repair. My time Rabbi Tarfon Shisha Me'aruga, a patch where you can find we'll also learn a kilaim where you can plant 5 types of 5 species in the patch. So the chashivas of a patch is 6 by 6. By Rabbi Yochanan Yehuda Meser Omer Telik Tzol Shanos Kidvarav. So he says, as we said in Mishnah, enough to seize and seize again. So Mak Ktira Derech HaKotzrim. What does Katsira mean? Um, you say that sounds like Katsira specifically means a fistful, right? So um, uh, a field koshu, or is even a koshu? In other words, anytime you harvest once and twice, doesn't matter how much you're holding. Just the act of harvesting twice makes it significant enough. Mimad Chsiv Mishalomi Le Kapo Kotzer V'Chotzno Ma'amer. He didn't feel the passage which tells us in the uh, where's Bazuk? Base. It says that he didn't fill his fistful of harvest. Um, or he didn't fill his basket or whatever Seppler is using enough to be to make a pile. Adamra Katsira Kederach HaKotzrim. So that means Katsira Kederach HaKotzrim is that Malay Kapo, right? Because he says that it can't be kosher because it says that that the minimum amount of shear to be considered to be a katsir from this pasuk we derive is Malay Kapo. Halacha Zayin. Rav Kiva Omer Karka Koshu Kachev is a Peah V'Bikurim. He says no, there's no shear. A karka, no matter how small, is chayim Peah Bikurim. Lichla Prusbun, he uses it to write a Prusbun. Prusbun has been on land on the basis of land holding. V'lichna Simon the Chazim Shein Achrayis B'Kesem Shtar Chazaka. Kinyan Agav, where you buy metaltlin Agav Karka through paying for the land by Kesef, or by giving a star for the land, or giving the question of giving the star, the buyer or the seller, whichever works with chazaka, and by taking hold of it, all these things work and make for a king agav. Of course, if somebody writes a will or distributes his property as a shchimera, so the halacha is if he didn't leave anything over, so then after if he doesn't die, everything reverts back to his ownership. If he left something over for himself, then the gift is a permanent gift, even if he survives. So what is sheer karko he leaves even a minimum amount of land to himself. Madnosa kayemis, his gift is sustained. Lo sheer koshu, if he didn't leave a koshu, but we see there's no specific shear. Because he wrote his property to his children because of Lishlo Karka Koshu, and he wrote to his wife even a minimum amount of land in the deal. So then of the ksuvasa, she lives in the ksuva, and it seems then she has no limit down. In Kibla Afa Pish Lokasav of the ksuvasa. Even if she accepted such an arrangement, even though it was not written down, she still loses her ksuva as a result. Says more Rabbi Imi B'Shem Ben Lakish. Boy, the name Rabbi Lakish stated the following: Hagatzmacha. Imagine this: Shosham Shipolas Achas. You have there one kernel of grain going, one stalk of grain going. Actual katzar ain't gonna chiyuv peah. Before you harvest, no chiyuv peah. Chiyuv peah is only when you start harvesting. Mishul katzar ain't gonna shear. Once you harvest it, there's nothing left. So what are you going to do? How are you going to leave peah in this field? If you say kosher, you're going to leave peah in this field comprised of one stalk of grain. Right, Mona. Sorry. So Rabbi Chaim B'Shem Pinchas Tipoter Kshiashem Kelach Achad Chamei Shibolim. So there's one stalk, but it has five. What's the top of it called? Five. Let's escape my mind. What? How do you say shibolos in English? It doesn't actually have a translation. It means part of a plant containing grains, such as the head of a stalk of wheat or rye. So the bottom line is that you have one stalk, but it has five heads. So those five heads, you can obviously harvest part of them and leave part of them, and that will be your peah. I'm gonna bite. V'leisan amin kama kosher cheves peah. So says the Brit Baz. Lav the Makshal Teirutz Rabbi Chanim Shem Pinchas. So Pinchas the same name. Chanim Pinchas answer is fine. So Chilus Chamisha Shipolim. You had 5 heads of the stalk. Can at least they I'm sorry. So Tzarech Chamisha Shipolim. You can't at least they kama. So that's the case. Let's say kama. Compare Shem Farshim sound like other Farshim say. Explain the Gemara. El the Makshal Stam Kushioso. It's a generic question. V'kai al Mishnah. So it's going to Mishnah. The Lama Manat Tana Gabi Dvarim should see him karka. Why do you mention by things which require land? Kam pay moem, even peah. My shaykhs see peah karka. Peah has nothing to do with land. Zenu shaykh rabbi bikurim. By bikurim, it's our karka. That's be she's bikurim mascha. Came principle. Also principle. Called here should shneim mishasenu. She peah my shaykhs see karka. The gam ha kone kama mechavero. Even you don't own any land, you just own the standing grain. You bought the stalks. The buyer has to take pay off the stalks which he owns, even though he doesn't own land. Okay, at least say kama kosher chavez and peah. So it shouldn't say karka kosher chavez and peah. Just say kama kosher, as long as you have some stalks. As a mashani begin the tiny become tiny karka b'chein kasav agra. So as I say, you could have written come up. So that's the inside. Boy, Raymond, boy, Lisne, Lesna, Amar, Kamak, Lesna means what? It's a contraction of why lace on? Why are we not saying Amar? Why not saying Kamakoshu Chavis Vapel? Kamakoshu Chavis Ben Step Karka. Begin the Tana Bikurim. Since it's mentioned Bikurim, Tana Karka. Since Bikurim has to do with Karka, not with stalk, so therefore we use the same term for the Bikurim as well. Tani, we learned Tarayon. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yochanan said, Misha no Karka Potter. Somebody doesn't have land is Potter from Potter Rayon. He's exempt from Rayon. The says the Ritbaz Tani Rayon Perish the Tani Babraisa the Kochoshim Nami HaRayon the Bekarka Koshu Chayvos Berego. So it says Rayon also. Rabbi Yossi B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan says Misha Ein Lo Karka Potem in Rayon. So I'm gonna ask here V'Lama Leis on an army Misha Ein Lo Karka Potem in Abidui. So he says why when he says Perish Potem in Bidui Perish Lo to Maksham Asis. Again, it's not a question on our Mishnah. Says read Baz the Kachoshi Bidui. The Hamasnisin. It's sorry. Page low the Maksham Masisi done the local Chashibidui. The Hamasnisin Yishlama Kamash Bishrash the Abakidushin that Kozva should have sat lanu Kai al Klai Yisrael. Because it could be that where it says Asher Nasat lanu, it doesn't mean to me specific you gave land. It's going Klai Yisrael. Low down the recording does not going to say Nasat Li. It says you gave to me. Makshab Yechon. That's not the question. That's where Rabbi Yechon feel like. The guy by round Nami by a karka, he holds by round, he also needs good land. We shouldn't receive as artsacha, right? Nobody's going to threaten your land when you come to the Rego. The Lomi Akaya Klai Yisrael, and we don't say it's going Kal Yisrael, it's going on the individual in Kain Lakshib Nami Vidui. So if that's the case. Why is Vidui not the same thing? Shani, and the answer is given as we shall see. That Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yochanan Omar Shmuel Sakein Perish Tu Bemes Omar Mishum Yochanan Mishen Lo Karka Potem in Avidui. Even though it's not mentioned, this taka was here. It's mentioned by others. Mishum Desiv Asher Sato Lanu Perish Rabbi Yochanan Mishen Rabbi Shua Ben Levi time of their own. Now the Karka Mishum Desiv Es Artzacha. So the Echnami we say that all these things mean you have to have your own land. Let's see inside. Remember, by Lama lace Lanon, it's supposed to be lace on Omar Misha Ein Lo Karka Potem in Avidui. So if you hold somebody doesn't have karka is exempt from Rayon, so it's be exempt from Vida. Simina Dama Shana Sata Lonu. It says the land which you gave us. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Misha Omar Shmuel it's okay. It's taka. We have a Shmuel like that. Misha Ein Lo Karka Potem in Avidui. He's exempt from Vidui. To me, the Simina Dama Shana Sata Lonu. These because it says Adam Asher Sato Lanu. Now it's a little bit difficult because again, why don't we say Asher Sato Lanu? means to Klal Yisrael. Again, because here it says Artzacha, and here it says Lonu. So not sure what exactly. Why should that be a chiluk? Rabbi Yosef Meshub and Levi Misha Ein Lo Karka Patam Yeraya Shemar Lechmad Ish Es Artzacha. So the there, Rabbi Yosef Meshub and Levi says that even Lechmad Ish Es Artzacha, which we could have understood as meaning nobody's going to want Eretz, nobody's going to desire Eretz Yisrael, not any person specific land. Yeah, we say means specific land. That if you don't have land, you're Patam Yeraya because Lechmad Ish Artzacha is not referring to Eretz Yisrael in general. It's referring to your specific land will be safe. So that's the case by vidui. Also, it should be like vidui is going. You're going to put them in a vidui, right? Again, just like article there, we even though it could refer to so we think it's referring to the individual land. So to here, it makes sense to say as a Moshe Sato even though it could be referring to Eretz Yisrael, it applies to the individual's land as well. So let's go back and see that again. Tani Rayom Rabbi Yosef Shem Yosef Misha Karka Pato Rayon. He's Patam Rayom. Why? We don't know. It doesn't say why. And what about V'Lama Lesami Misha Karka Pato Minavidu? Why don't we say yeah, we don't know yet. We're going to find out because it's Artzcha. But Shem Boy V'Lama Lesami Misha Karka Pato Minavidu. Simina the Moshe Sato Lonu. So we should say that he's part of an everyday as well. So Rabbi Yossi, Bum Shem Rabbi Yochanan, so Shmaitza, Shmaitza, we have a Shmuel like that. Mishain Lokarka, but everyday see me now Damasha Satalonu. Now, of course, how do we know that? That's referring to an individual's land. Yes, because we have that. They have that pasuk which tells us that Artzacha clearly we have that limud. Rabbi Yochanan, is Artzacha going on your specific land. So do we say the same thing that Shasatolanu is also going on your specific land, not the land of Klal Yisrael. And then we are at the bottom of Lamed Aleph Lamed Beis, and Mamish at the bottom, so I believe I could obviously start a lot, do Lamed Beis tomorrow.